Welcome to the Voice Mood. I'm your host, Olivia Peck, your local millennial voice teacher, answering your singing questions today. If you have any questions about singing, let me know in the chat. I'll do my best to answer. I've been teaching for about 10 years now. Does that mean that I have always been a business owner for 10 years? No, I've taught in classrooms. I've taught for other little after school programs. Not to say little like that. They were great programs, but they were more for little kids. And now I run my own voice studio and I have students all over the world in different time zones. And it's really great. Obviously, different time zones. I'm just crazy today. Okay. Ask me your questions about singing. I'd love to help you. We have got some great topics to cover today. So, the theme of today, if you're in my group class later or if you're joining on the live, is connecting warm ups and exercises to actual songs. I think we all struggle with connecting that, bridging that gap, because there's so many warm-up videos out there. There's so many exercises I go through with my students, and the trick is always connecting the two. Sure, we might have a free voice and feel good when we're doing a little exercise or warm-up, but then when it comes to putting it in a song in real time with lyrics, that can be a bit of a challenge. So that's what we're talking about today. I'm super excited. Okay. Also, y'all, I have to tell you about my new water bottle because I think that if you are a vocalist, this is the water bottle for you. This is not an ad. This is a water bottle I've had on my website links for a long time. It's just one that I like. But I recently got their latest model and it's really great for singers. Why? Okay, first of all, it's really big, so you can fit a lot of water in there. You can probably plan on drinking this whole thing in one day or fill it up twice. But I like how it's not too big, you know? It can fit in a bag. It's very hardy. You can put it in the dishwasher. But here's the best part, okay? Here's the best part about this water bottle. It has a straw, and you don't have to use a straw. There's also a thing where you can open it right here and drink out of this little part. And the straw is perfect for SOVT exercises. So, talking about putting exercises into our practice, I have been doing this exercise more lately because I've found it so effective. So, beyond lip trills, you can also do another exercise to connect your breath with your vocal cords. So it's blowing bubbles into water like this. If you try it, you'll probably feel a really relaxing sensation. It feels like a little massage for your vocal folds. You can sing a whole song like this, and it's very direct. You know, you can sing Sweet Caroline with your straw and water. What it does is it creates resistance for your breath. Let me show you the science on it if you're curious. Talking about best exercises to connect directly to singing, I think this one is really great. And I really love this water bottle, but if you don't have this water bottle, it's okay. I'm sure you have a straw lying around, or next time you go to Mickey D's, snatch a straw for your singing practice. Okay, so let me show you the science on this, and it totally goes with our theme. So I got this PDF. You can get it for free on a website called Voice Science Works. And let's look at it together. So benefits of vocal tract, semi-occluded vocal tract exercises. That's what the SOVT stands for. So the mouth is closed or partially closed, and you can do them by doing straw phonation, humming, lip trills. You can do a V sound. They have a bunch of different ideas on their website, so it's a really great resource. Okay, so less collision, impact, and pressure on the folds while still getting them to stretch in a balanced position, like doing stretches in a pool. So if you've ever heard about doing stretches in a pool, the reason why it's easier is because the pool's kind of helping you out, right? You're in water. So it's similar to that, but for singing. How great. Okay. So you can see why it's more of a therapeutic thing from that aspect, right? Okay. So when the mouth is open, air pressure comes up from the lungs, hello, impacts the bottom of the folds and is expelled through the mouth. All right. So you can see a little graphic there of what that looks like with the mouth and then the vocal folds and the little arrows. Okay. While some pressure always returns when the mouth is more closed, more pressure is reflected at the lips and returns to the folds. That's what they mean by back pressure because the air is coming up through your lungs, obviously, but then when we close our mouth, the air is supporting our vocal folds on the top as well. So this helps the folds stay aligned in a squared up position. We don't really think about that very often as singers, but it is a good way to sing and warm up your voice. So this is great for transitions in the voice and finding a mixed register. Hello. We talk about mixed voice a lot on here. This might be your little secret. Practicing with your straw in water and singing on it like that. And it's much more direct because you're able to sing on the melody. I really like it. I think it's great. So really making that connection is important. Okay, let's look at, there's some more to this, but another thing that I really like about this type of exercise is that when you think about it, when you're doing this type of exercise, your vocal tract is less likely to squeeze. You're less likely to have that tension here. So you're able to hit those high notes, move through your range without squeezing, using your breath, engaging your breath. Really great. Can't stress it enough. We'll probably come back to it later when we're practicing a song. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I would love to answer them. How are you, teacher? I am actually 32 years old. I know I look younger, but yeah, I am actually 32. So, yes. Okay, let's go on to answering your questions if you have any, but I also have some lyrics to look at to talk about breaking down a song. Okay, so connecting those exercises to something we're trying to work on. That's always a tricky part. So let's bring up these lyrics here. All right, we're talking about Sweet Caroline because I don't know about y'all, but I saw Song Sung Blue, the Neil Diamond tribute movie, and it was really good. I cried several times. So I'm going to go over this song and how we can use exercises to sing it better. Okay. So it starts out where it began. I can't begin to know when, but then I know it's going strong. All right. So right away, the first thing we want to do is get that rhythm locked in. It's a little bit swung, right? So I suggest moving around a little bit when you are speaking the lyrics. And that's the first thing I talk about when you're learning a song. We want to relax into it. We don't want to be worried about the rhythm. Where it began, can't begin to know when, but then I know it's going strong. We're not even singing, we're just speaking it in rhythm. And you can try this with me, just kind of move around. Do this with a song that you're learning. Just speak it in rhythm. It helps to move and it helps to speak it, not sing it. We want to break it down into little chunks. Okay, so once we're kind of familiar with the rhythm, we want to go on to step 2. So let's check out my practice guide. So this is on my website. You can check it out. We warmed up. Now we're going to go to practicing, and there's lots of great steps. So we listen to the song, we practice the rhythm. Now we're going to decide where we're going to breathe in the song. Okay, so a lot of times this is a really underestimated step to actually write in where you're going to breathe, okay? Because if we don't know where we're going to breathe in a song, then we're going to be unsure, okay? So here we go. Let's say where it begin. We can breathe there. That makes sense. There's a pause. Can't begin to know when. Wow, super easy. I think we'll be able to breathe after every single line here because there's a break. If there was no breaks, that would be different. It would be a little more complicated. Now, when we get to hands, touching hands, maybe reaching out, breathe in before there. Reaching out. And then you could maybe take a small breath before touching me, touching you. So after the first touching me, there's a comma, right? Typically, if you have punctuation, that's a great place to breathe. But because we like the style maybe of Neil Diamond, we're not going to breathe there. So we just want to plan for that and make sure that after we do reaching out, we get a good little breath before touching me so we don't run out of air. Okay, another thing to think about if you want to go deeper is how big of a breath do I take? Something we'll talk about in the group class, for instance, is, okay, I took a breath there, but I'm still running out of air. Why is that? So it could be because some tension. It could be because the breath is not the right size of breath. It could be too big, too small. So that's something else to work out. Now, this would be a good place to start doing maybe some straw exercises because the straw will help connect that breath to the lyrics. So I would say this would be early stages of learning the song. We're still getting to know it. Let's use the straw. So here we go. We're going to sing it on the straw. You can do it with me if you want, or you can hum along with me. And breathing in those places we decided. Okay, let's skip to the chorus. And I could really feel when I got to touching me, touching you, that I was digging deep. And the straw exercise did help me with that, did help me connect with the breath and sing it in an easier way. It didn't feel strained. It didn't feel pushed. Okay, so let's say we put in our breath marks. Let's go to the next step, which is melody. Okay, so we really want to lock in that melody. This is another one. You can use a straw, or you can do a ah vowel, e vowel, sing on some sort of vowel. Okay, so let's do an ah vowel just because that's nice and easy and open. That's what this looks like. Instead of where it began, we're going to go ma, ma, ma. So it's all connected when we do a vowel like that. Now, this is something you can go deeper with as well. So when I'm working one-on-one with a student or in the group class, for instance, we'll talk about, okay, well, for this song, the quality of an ah vowel is really open, it's really rich, and it might not get after the belty quality we want. So let's try it on an E. E, E. So that type of exercise starts to train the way that we want to sing it. And E is brighter, it's more in line with the tone we want. So you can do it on an A. That brought out almost a gritty quality, more nasal. We can do it on an ooh, ooh. So that's the type of thing you can do just to learn those notes. Now, something else that I really like to do, this is a little secret tip, but I do it a lot with students, is to sing it on really short or staccato notes to make sure you're getting the note right away and not sliding up to it or noodling around. This cleans it up. It cleans it up if you've never done this before. So instead of where it began, I can't begin to know when, you're going to do it on really short notes. You can do it on your vowel or you can do it on the lyrics. So let's try it. Where it began, I can't begin to know when, then I know it's going strong. I can tell when I'm gonna guess. So that is a really good exercise, not just to figure out the notes, but also it's good for your breath when you do short notes like that to engage it, and it helps train the breath as well. So that is another exercise you can do. Direct correlation to singing, and it's not just a disconnected warm up. It's something you can do with the song. Okay, let's go to so lyrics and diction. Diction. What is diction? It's such a old big word, but it's really not. So diction is how you pronounce the words. When we sing, we're not going to pronounce the words like where it began, I can't begin to know when. I'm not going to sing it like that. I'm going to sing it like where it began. Now, that's easy for me now, but I had to practice that to get there. So a great thing you can do at this stage, you know the rhythm pretty well, you know the notes well. Now, think about those lyrics and how you can sing them in an optimal way. So we're not chewing the words. We are thinking about elongating the vowels, dropping off some of those consonants. So instead of where, think where. And you can write that in your music, write that in the lyrics. Take out that R. Where it began. This is where people do get a little confused. They're like, well, what vowel do I modify it to then? I don't know. That's where voice lessons can help get in more in depth, but you trust your instincts too. So, for instance, when we get to hands, I automatically do more hands, E-H. I think it's better for a sort of beefy, belty sound, hands, as opposed to hands, cutting it off, hands. Touching hands, I'm not doing touching hands. I'm doing touching, T-A-H, touching hands. Another thing you can do is make those lyrics connect. So we're not just singing touching me, touching you. We're doing touching me, touching you. It's all connected, right? It's all one word. So that's something else that is not exactly automatic for everybody. It takes time to practice it, and a good way to break it down is to literally write that in your music. Write it out phonetically, and if you do that, it will help. It'll help train you to relax those lyrics. And automatically, we talk about, relax the jaw, do all these things to relax the jaw, relax the tongue. If you are pronouncing words like slurred together, that automatically helps with this. So that's another way we're bridging that gap between exercises and singing. If we really practice singing the words all connected like that, it's going to sound better and relax that jaw. Oftentimes, when someone slurs words together like that, some vibrato comes out because it is more relaxed. So let's try that. I'll show you an example. So let's do Sweet Caroline. I'll really sing the lyrics choppy and how we're not supposed to do it. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. All right, so let's really connect it. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. Just really relaxing it. Brought out some vibrato, forced me to connect to my breath more. Now, if you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm still straining, I'm still squeezing, go back to some straw exercises in between. Slow it down. Ask yourself, do I need to modify this vowel? Like if you're doing sweet, it might be too squeezed. Think sweet, sweet. Sweet, sweet. So think about that, or practice a meow. So if you're doing more of a belty thing and we get to Sweet Caroline, you can do meow, 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 meow. Sweet helps with that. So meowing a song will help with that, like mixed belt. La la la. If you have any questions, let me know also. I'm just yapping about how to practice over here. But if you have any questions, ask them in the chat. I will answer them and let you know what you can do to improve your singing the best that I can. All right, so let's move on to the next step. So these are just different steps you can do. I like to go in this order, but there's even more we can do with this. So we learned the rhythm, we learned the melody, we tried different vowels, we modified some of the lyrics, some of the vowels, we wrote in our breaths. Let's talk about riffs and runs, okay? So that would be the next step, is putting in those riffs and runs, finding those fast moving notes and nailing those down, okay? And I'll talk about how we can do that after this question. We have a great question here. Hi, hello. I'm having a lot of trouble with my mix. Basically, on vocal exercises, I will go nasally as possible and then sort of slide into a head voice so the scale sounds more connected. Okay, so when we sing in mixed voice, nasal can be a good little helper at first, but sometimes nasality can get too heavy, too beefy for transitioning through that passaggio or those places in our range that feel awkward. So, what I would say is think about, instead of nasal twang, doing more oral twang, like a meow or a baby cry. Wah, wah. You can feel the difference between a baby cry sound, wah, and a nasal sound like yeah. One is a little bit more pushed here, and one is a little bit more of this like wah, pingy shape. So I would say there's a couple of things you can do, but I would sing out a meow. I love the meow. So meow, 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 going top down like that. Meow, 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 meow. Some people benefit more from going bottom up. So you can do a ma. And the trick is when you're doing this ma exercise to think more ma, more as you get higher, but gently. So you can hear, if I back up a little bit, that I'm not getting louder as I get higher. I'm getting just more rare, meowy. So ma, how I got gentler, but I kept it in sort of a speaky tone as opposed to ma or ma. It's more ma. So practicing that transition, that's another way to practice sliding in to your upper register with a mixed tone quality and not going too nasal. So sometimes if it's too nasal, too much nasal twang, it can be a little bit of a hindrance. So you want to think maybe more oral twang. Wow, wow. It's a little closer to speech. So let me know if that helps. And we'll go from there. But really great question. I have a few videos on mixed voice and I'll link them after I'm done with this video. If I don't do it today, then tomorrow. But go ahead and check them out on my channel. I have a whole playlist for mixed voice and it seems to really help. So let me know how that goes and come back and see us, okay? Because we want to know how your progress is going. I care about all of you. Okay. Hey, thanks for chiming in. Thanks for being here. Okay, so great question. Great, totally fit what we were talking about too, about adding mixed voice if we're singing Sweet Caroline and we want to do the meow, 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 meow. So singing on a meow can help us connect that mix to the actual song. Think meow, but be singing the lyrics. Okay, so we're talking about doing riffs and runs. This is another element that I don't do right away. I like to save it for I know the song when I know the song pretty well. The best way that I know to practice riffs and runs is to do them slowly, to do them on short notes and get them really crisp. So if you're doing a little run like, let's say Neil Diamond did, touching me, touching you, you. We want to do you, you. Do it really short, disconnect it, you, and then smooth it out, you. And there's different things we can do to sort of make it more musical. Like, let's say we want the first note to be punched a little harder and then the rest of them sort of thrown away. You, and then emphasize last note, that type of thing. So making the riffs musical is something else we can practice so that it's automatic. We don't have to think about it. We've done it a million times. That's kind of the trick to riffs and runs. All right. So the next thing to talk about is what to put in chest voice, mixed voice, head voice, and there are little tricks to do that. So again, connecting exercises with actually putting them into practice would be, okay, so let's say at the beginning of the song, I want it to be in chest voice. I'm going to think about it being here and feel the vibration maybe in my chest, like I'm speaking. Where it began, I can't begin to know when. Let's say I changed it to, but then I know it's going strong or something like that. We wouldn't do that. But for an example, if we want to do something in head voice, I might think, oh, I'm switching from here to a more sigh voice. Then I know it's going strong. We wouldn't do that, but that's what I'm visualizing in my brain. If I want to make a massive change like that, I'm thinking about, I'm having it here, and then I'm going to a sigh. If you just have little things that can connect to the type of voice you want to use, it makes that switch a little more automatic, because you're not going to sing the whole song in chest voice or in mixed voice or in head voice. You're probably going to have a mix of different ones. So being able to snap in and out is just a matter of having little tricks to get your voice there. Hey, thanks for signing on. I almost said signing off. Meant to say sounding off. Okay, so you all know that if I'm doing a mixed voice, I like to do meow, 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 meow. That's the noise I use. Or if the nya is good for a more nasal, nya, 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 if that makes sense for the song. For this particular song, it's moving around a lot. I think a meow is good for finding the mixed voice. So you want to go through and go, what do I want to be in for mixed voice? Or what part do I want to do chest voice or head voice? You want to kind of map that out beforehand and think about how you're going to connect it to the lyrics. This is where vowels come in again. Like, let's say I'm doing, good times never seemed so good, and I wanted good times to be more mixy. I'm thinking, good times never seem so good. And then if I want good to have some vibrato, good, think really round, So these are things you can write in your lyrics. You can really meticulously plan this stuff and practice this stuff so that it's automatic when you perform. Okay. So lastly, let's say we totally tore the song apart. By the time you've done all of these little steps, you know the song very well. You probably have it memorized in your bones. Okay. So the last thing would be expression. This is something I talk about with my with students who are singer-songwriters and they're not sure how they're going to express their voice. Okay, what is their voice? It's hard to know who I am. You know, people say, be yourself. Well, what the heck does that mean? So it comes from having your own expression and meaning behind what you're singing. So maybe as a singer, I find Sweet Caroline, this song, very sad. Okay, I don't, but let's say I do. Totally changes the meaning of the song if I were to sing it with a sad connotation, where it began, I can't begin to know when, something like that. Maybe I'm a really fun person, or in the moment I want to make it super fun and rock out. Where it began, I can't begin to know how. I can really rock out. There's all kinds of ways you can do something. It just comes back to, what's your style? What do you like? What does the song mean to you? What do the lyrics mean to you? A lot of times we'll be singing a song and we don't even really know what the lyrics mean. We just like it, or maybe you do, but you really digging deep on those lyrics. So let's say I'm doing the part where, then I know it's going strong. What does that mean? What does that really mean? And how am I going to sing it so that when the listener hears you, they know you're connecting to the lyrics because you're singing it with feeling. Okay. So there's different ways to practice that, but I like to speak the lyrics like it's a monologue, or think about, you write in the subtext. So what does this mean in a shortened version? That's something that each individual will have sort of a different interpretation. That's a beautiful part of music. All right. But anyways, we kind of went through all the steps. The last thing would be, if you still didn't have it memorized, you would work on memorizing it, and that can really free up your voice as well. If you want to go deeper with this, these are the types of things we do in voice lessons and in the group class. So of course, y'all know you can sign up for a lesson with me at oliviapeck.com. You can just fill out the little form if you want to do a free consultation, and just to see what everything's about. But there's ways to reserve a lesson slot as well, just right on the website, get you in there. There's room for you right now. Spots are filling up this week, but I still have some space. Will you sing a hook for my song? I'll give you lyrics and all. So sometimes I do collaborate with my students. So just reach out to me on my website and we'll see what we can get together. Okay, because I do collaborate with my students quite a bit. And I would love to hear your song. So let me know. Another thing just about singing and songwriting, there's ways beyond learning even our own song or unpacking a song. If it's your own song, you can change melodies, you can change lyrics, you can modify things to make it optimal for you. And that's another thing we talk about in voice lessons. Like, should we move this key? Should we move this lyric? Should we elongate this so we get that nice vowel here? That type of thing. A lot of the time, people will write songs for themselves and it'll be in the wrong key for their voice. So it helps to get direction on that. Anyway, great to talk to you all today. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Thanks for the great questions. It's been an absolute joy. This has been a fun one. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments if you're watching this later, and I'll answer them on the next live. So yeah. Oh, and here's a great question for the end of the live. Am I AI? No, I'm not. I'm a real person. I'm a real person. So I don't even know how to prove that, but I am. You can go to my website and you can set up a lesson with me and it'll be me. Yeah. Hope it's a compliment. Yesterday, my bangs looked like Lord Farquaad, I swear. So today they look normal, and that's a win for me. Okay. Anyway, thank y'all so much. Very, very sweet. Thanks for being here. I'll do the timestamps eventually, maybe not today, but probably by tomorrow. So if you're watching this video and there's no timestamps yet, sit tight. I like to do this for you guys. I know they're long. All right, well, I will see you on the next one. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't, and you'll get more notifications on when I go live next, and you can ask your singing questions. I go live almost every week to answer singing questions, and of course, you'll know the end of the video, you'll see the little end cap, and it'll say, go to my website. So check it out. And there's tons of resources for students as well, and really cool open mic things coming up. So stay tuned. It's going to be a fun year. Can't wait. Talk to y'all later. Thanks for coming. Bye.